Good morning, everyone. Please confirm if you can see my screen. You able to see my screen?
Yes, yeah.
All right. So let me first walk through about what this presentation would be. So this is for the upcoming batch that I would be conducting. It's especially for the network automation and the modules. The languages that I would be covering would be Python, Ansible, API, and the Cisco DevNet Blueprint. So this is something which I been conducting for last 4 to 5 years. So this batch gets every time with the fresh topics. We keep on adding and we keep on making modification on the topic as well to keep it to the standard of the production environment. So today I'll walk through via some of the test cases, and I'll also show you some examples of what is automation. Uh, right. So this is how the program would be, and also I'll tell you the course flow for the next 2 to 3 months. That is our regular Python batch. So if you see here, this is the course module. This would be like 3 to 4 months of course. So we start initially with Python theory, then we go to the Python libraries, and we will go through the Ansible API section, the DevNet module, and also the throughout there would be some projects given for the hands-on labbing experience. And this is how the lab topology would look like. So we have deployed the Cisco vendors, Palo Alto, Arista, Juniper, ASA Firewall. So you will have access to 3 to 6 months of this lab topology. We will also help you with the home lab setup. So this is basically a brief intro about the course. So we are going to see two demo as of now, so that you get a bit familiar with what is that automation and where exactly the automation is used, or what is the purpose of automation or automating your traditional network. Okay. All right. So I would like to have this interactive session. So what do you think are some of the challenges of the traditional networking? Have you come across challenges in your current organization? So what is the challenges with the current organization?
Well, the demand is today for the automate the work. Well, if it's repeat tasks, so this has to be automated.
Okay.
And if the network is big, then definitely cannot log into the hundreds of devices. So yes, in that case, some automation is script is required to do your task easier.
So repetitive task. What else? Log into multiple device.
Right.
What else?
And to do things which takes time, but via automation can be done in lesser time,
Okay.
time saving. So
Okay, let's say time management to execute or something. What else do you think we can automate, or what is the challenge with the traditional networking?
Chances of human errors.
Okay. To avoid human errors. What else? So are you all from the network domain? Anyone not from the network domain? So what other things that you do in the production that you think can be automated?
well, to restore an incident, let's say suppose if there is a device over the network which has some hardware failures and requires an to, I mean need to log in first and to reload instead of do it manually. We can monitor the alert and via the automation we can do such kind of a script which monitor the device first and then log in and then restart by itself.
Okay, let's say monitor device and raise a alert.
And take the action. Yeah.
Okay, what else? What else do you think we can do it or achieve using automation? Think the smaller bit. Don't think from very large design or something like that. Anything that you do manually can be automated, right? So if I say that if you have to take a backup of thousands of devices, what would be your approach in a traditional method? Let's say if simple show run is to be taken.
Right. To take the config backup, right.
Yes, so that is not going to be feasible every time to go and log into 1,000 devices, right? So this is where you can automate. Similar way, let's say if you have a maintenance window and you have been asked to configure might be a complete network for /24, or might be they have asked you to configure ACL, or might be someone is asking you to configure OSPF routing protocol. So this maintenance window can also be automated by writing scripts or Ansible playbooks, right? So this comes basically within the configuration push, let's say. What else? Let's say if my management is asking me to fetch a audit report to see what are let's say for an example, what are ISR 4K current version is, current iOS version. Okay, and they want to upgrade all those devices which are running on 15.x or 16.x to might be 17.9.x. So how would you give them a report? So basically, this is where you get a let's say a CSV file get created or a Excel file get created, which you can pass it on to the management, and then they will do the needful change creation, and then you will execute the maintenance window. So this is what happens in production environment, right? What else? What else do you think we can do it? Have you heard about running? Let's say if someone asks you that give me the report for all the up interface status. So if the interface status is up and up, give me the report. Or let's say if the interface status is down and down, then give me the report from all my thousands of access switches. Might be then I have to put a no shutdown to them and put a description called as uh, reserved, or might be something like free interface or something like that. Right. So these are some test cases that we can utilize automation skill set. What else do you think? Do you think nowadays people upgrade the iOS manually, like what we used to do like years back? So nowadays all the upgrades are done with the scripting. That's all. So you can copy the files, copy the iOS file. You can do the MD5 validation. You can take all the pre and whatever post after the change is done. You can do the reboot over on the scripting based itself. So all the tasks can be written in a single script, and the script will be run, and it will follow the sequence, and it will do the job. Okay. It could be also check the storage, if there is enough storage to copy the file. So all the checks can be written on the script itself. What else? Let's say I'm going to deploy BGP or OSPF. How would I know that things are going good? Right? So if you ever tried show IP OSPF and question mark, you might get like more than 40 plus CLI commands that can support the add-ons. Show IP OSPF neighbor, show IP OSPF database, show IP OSPF summary, show IP OSPF advertised route, right? So there can be like 40, 50 plus such command. So how do you run all this 40 commands within manual way that you get to know that things are good or your protocol deployed is good? So for this, we have something called unit testing, which we can do it with the help of if you know the PI testing, so you can do it with the PI testing as well. So there are modules like Jenny. Okay, and PI ads. So these are used to do the protocol testing, BGP testing, OSPF testing. You will write a test case, run it. It will run all the 40 to 50, 60 commands within itself and give you an accumulated output saying that this is good, this is good, this is good. This can be having a problem. So that's called unit testing, which the business unit, the business unit or the software developer, if they want to run and see the outcomes, this is how it's been done. Okay, what else? Now let's say if I have SD-WAN technology, which in case if you have worked on SD-WAN, you know that you use a graphical interface to access vManage, right? You basically input HTTPS, you put 1.1.1.1. So this is a vManage. Now this is a graphical interface. So we can also automate a graphical interface with the concept of REST API and the HTTP operation. So if I want to fetch the inventory, I can say get the URL and put the login credentials and submit it. You will get all the data from the graphical interface. Similar way, you want to configure something, you can go with the post request. So here comes get, post, put, patch, delete. Okay, what are the different graphical interfaces that we have that you can think about from networking? So Palo Alto dashboard, we have FortiGate dashboard, we have F5 LTM dashboard, we got Nexus dashboard, we got SD-WAN, we got Epic, which is for ACI controller, we have DNAT, we have Cisco ICE dashboard. So these are all dashboard technology. And what are SSH technology? That could be your Cisco Catalyst, iOS router, switches, could be ASA firewall CLI backend that we have it. So there are ways of taking the control of these devices. Either we go with SSH or we go with HTTP. Both the methods we can automate it. We can automate via SSH. We can also automate it via HTTP. Okay, so that is why I say whatever you learn are vendor neutral. You can apply this to any XYZ devices. You just need to have the access to the device. It should be either SSH or HTTP. These are only the two methods we usually use to take the control. We don't use Telnet because it's a plain text data. We don't use SNMP because it's a UDP data. So what else do you have the access of taking? Either SSH or HTTP only, right? What else do you think we can do with the automation? What else do you think we can automate? So anyone else who recently joined wants to contribute anything? What other thing that you think we can automate? I gave some pointers. Jagdishwara, are you talking? Because I don't hear you anything. Can you just check your mic? What else do you think we can automate? Just give me some test example. That is also fine.
Daily reports.
Yeah, that I have mentioned. That I have mentioned here. That audit report or reporting, and also this portion I mentioned. If I want to take a report of interface status, definitely we can say that report and all related to reporting or audit. What else?
Pre and post captures if we are planning to do a change or like upgrading a switch or something like that.
It is also mentioned.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I joined lately. Yeah.
Yeah, it is also mentioned. What else do you think? Which or you guys can tell me what basically the change maintenance that you guys are performing, so we can have some correlation built across on that. So if you have executed any change maintenance previously, like in a last 1 week or 1 month or might be last 6 months, so what type of change windows that you do it in your organization?
Yeah, we do like iOS upgradations if there are any like rebooting the router or switches, or if you're doing like anything like BGP configure, changing doing the troubleshooting like major core routers or switches, so that.
Okay. See, so when you say you do iOS upgrade, I already had put all the different steps in the sequence order. So we can automate a copying of the file. from the local drive to the hard disk of the device. We can also verify MD5 using the Python script. We can also prepare the pre and post report. We can also set the boot variables. And when you do basically uh, the reload, you expect the device comes with the updated version. And there is when that you do the post and you take out the diff report. And this report is where you validate if my configs from the pre and post are working, or if my interface would have been gone into error disabled mode, or might be my protocols are not converging, right? So I'll just show you one example for the diff report that we do in the live class usually.
Sagar, I have one doubt in the
Yeah.
same context. So let's say we are doing pre and post, scripting is running. So during this upgradation, so node will go into the reboot state, right? So we will lose the SSH connectivity. So during that time, my script will also break, right?
Sorry, what will break?
My script, whatever is running in the backend, that will also break, right? During the SSH lost.
Yeah, definitely. It will lose and it will auto connect once the device is reachable once again.
So do we have to manually again run that script, or it will
No, no, no.
automatically?
The script will be already in an ideal state.
Okay. Okay.
So here, let me show you the diff report. Yeah, see something like this. So you can create the diff report. Usually what we do, what I have seen is people take the pre and post and put it on some third-party diffreport.com and then check, or might be if they have it in Notepad, they do a side-by-side comparison. But we can also create such HTML reports for pre and post after the change completion. So it will give us whatever is done or configured, or if it is missing, it will give us in the color indication. Okay, so that was for iOS upgrade. And what else did you say? The maintenance window that you do? Apart from iOS upgrade, you also told something else, right?
Yeah, if you are doing like any routing changes in the core routers.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, routing change or config change or such things. Right. So for this, you can write a Python script before your maintenance window as per the change step. And during the maintenance window, you just have to run the script and it will do it on whatever number of device that it's been asked. Okay, so this is a easiest way. And also majorly what happens is you can cut down a lot of time because of automation. Might be if it takes, let's say 2 hours to manually log into each device and apply the command, you can cut down it to might be, let's say, only 30 minutes with all the pre and post check, and you're done in 30 minutes. And also there is no human error. Usually what happens, we copy the config on a wrong device and then we start digging into or troubleshooting the network isolation, why my network got outage or why I lost the device reachability. So this will also cut down any human errors that happens during the maintenance window. Okay, who else? Anyone else who do the maintenance window? Do you guys collect the reports or something from the devices like bandwidth report or the current iOS version report? So how do you do it? Do you make use of some tools or something, or you do it manually?
So we have like a tool where, let's say, uh, there will be a management connectivity with the device. Let's say Netconf or SNMP. From there, we can fetch all the backups periodically, whatever whenever we want. So
So what tool is that called?
that is a NSP tool, Network Service Platform.
How much is the costing?
Costing wise, I'm not aware. So this is kind of our proprietary actually solution.
Mhm. So everyone cannot use this in that case. Only your organization is might be using.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So for other people, there is something like HP NNMI. There is Solar Wind. There is PRTG. There is CA Spectrum. Right? So there are hundreds of options that can be utilized, but the major factor is that they are all cost effective. Okay, they are all cost effective. Now, this is also a major factor in the ongoing organization to save on the capex or on the investment or for the cost cutting. When they know that Python or Ansible or REST APIs are all open source and free to be utilized. So they look for the skilled engineers. They might pay the skilled engineer, let's say, this much to cut down whatever expenses that they are having it on the tools. Right? They know that we can reduce on areas or corners where we have automation or the things going on. So with Python, Ansible, REST API, you can do all the things that our tools were capable of doing. You can also generate the reports. You can generate the report in a pie chart format as well. You can do the diff report. You can take the backup. You can push the configuration. You can schedule automatic backup without a human intervention. Everything is doable using this programming languages. So there is no need for any such expensive tools or I mean only those organizations who are either not up to the standard or who are not keeping themselves updated with the technology might be still spending money on the tools. But rest who are updated with the market and they know what is going on across, they will definitely look for the alternative solution. And once they find it's 99% accurate or 100% accurate, they will definitely take out the tools and keep with the open source results. All right, so this is something for the theory. I'll just take you to some lab and I'll show you some examples. Those in case if you guys have never seen how the automation works. So I have some examples with me. I need a device, access to a device. Let's say this is a lab. Okay, so this is how you get a lab. So we have Palo Alto, we have CSR, we have CSR basically is iOS XE. Then we have ASA, we got Fortinet, Arista, Junos, Cisco, Catalyst router, switches. So these are some of the devices which are most of time in my batch, the students are working upon. But there would be also some scenarios where students will have their own, cornered devices. So we cannot bring that here because might be the other audience are not part of it or they may not be needing it. But I always give a pointer for any vendors that can be supported via automation. If the vendor is very, very old and they don't have any updates or they're not even live or something, we can't automate such unmanageable devices. Otherwise, most of the devices we can manage. Around 30 to 40 different vendors can be automated or we can use the automation skill set. So as of now, you can see I have powered on one device. Let me show you how do we power on. Let's say this is a powered off device. I'll right click on it and I'll start it. When I start it, you can see the color has been turned blue. That means it's been booting up now. And to open the console, you double click this. And you can see the device is under the boot up sequence. One of would have been logged in. So let's say what is the IP address of this. So it is 24.59. We also have username configured on this. So let's say we have admin and Cisco configured. I can also make a note if I'm reachable via SSH or not. You can see that you can do a self SSH just to make sure you have working SSH keys. You have working line VTY configured. You have working username and password configured. So once you do the self test, then you can move to this tool. This tool is called ID, Python ID, Integrated Development Environment, which is where you write your script, you compile, you debug, you execute. So this is where we write the script. And we have already installed Python on our machine. We also have done the basic downloads, like for example, if this is an example for the NetMiko package, so I've already downloaded NetMiko package from the settings, Python interpreter, and you can see that it's already installed here. So in case if you're doing a fresh deployment, then you have to click on the plus symbol and you have to search for NetMiko, and there is an option called install package, and that's how you install it. All right. So any library, any packages has to be first installed before you execute them. Now this is a script. This is a script which is to configure something. You can see that line 13 says to configure something, send config from this file. So what is this file? Let's see in the my computer. If I put this here on the Explorer, and what is the file? File says config push. So looks like this is the file. So this is the configuration. Maybe I'll change it to today's date. Let's say 25 May 2024 demo. So this is the configuration. I want to push it on my device, and it's stored somewhere in the C drive. So that is what line 13 says. Line 15 consists of some show command, show IP int brief and show run. And we would be fetching that. We would be initially pushing that command using the send command function. And then we will be taking the print to see the output of it. And finally, we are also collecting some backup. You can see the backup would happen over on the music folder with the prefix of backup underscore and the device IP, right? So if I have something with that, let me first delete so that I can pull a fresh backup. So three things I'm basically performing from this script. So first thing, I'm configuring something, then I'm executing some show commands, and then I'm taking the backup, right? So three things: config push, to execute something, to fetch something on our display, and also at the end to take the backup and save it in the text format, wherever you want to save it. So let's say we want it at this location. So we should be able to see some backup occurring over here. So how do I run any script or any program? I right click on that, and there's an option called run, and I run this. This is the output terminal. So from the output terminal, you can see my device did the configuration change. Second, my device fetched the output of show IP int brief and show clock. And then it also took the backup, which is line 20, that we will confirm over here. So if you go to your file explorer, see this backup 172.16.24.59, which is your device IP. So if you open up this is what you see. Which backup were you interested taking? You were interested to take the backup of this command and this command. That is why you get two output put up here. Show IP in brief and show clock. So this is a basic script where you had only one device. You did the configuration push. You fetched output for something and you took the backup. Scenarios can change. You can have 10 different devices or it might be 200 different devices. You might have a different config push for each one of them. Need not to be that they are all going to be a same set of changes. It could be, but it also could be that it is not the same type of changes. So right now, let's say, see, if let's say this is host name, right? This is a host name and you put it on one of the device, but you cannot do the same host name on 100 of them, right? You should have host names are unique to each other, same as with your IP address. They are unique to each devices. So in that case, this method can fail. This method is not the genuine method. So at that point, we can go with some other ways. So we can go with, let's say, Excel reading, in which we have each devices having its own configuration and own set of show command. You can also keep any vendor type. Let's say the first one is Palo Alto, second one is ASA firewall, third one is a iOS router or switch. So my script will read from this and fetch the data and do the configuration. Okay, give me 1 minute. Yeah, guys, I'm back. So any concern with the first example that you saw? The ones who have never into the automation, you guys have got any concern with the first script before I move to the second?
No for me.
Okay. All right, I'll show you another example in that case. So the second example is something which I'm going to read from the Excel. As we know that the example one has its own limitation. So that limitation we will be covering up in the second example. So the intention of the second is that my configs are different. So each one of it has its own configuration. And how do I read that Excel and then push it along? Okay, and in case also, I'll also tell you one more thing. In the example one, there is also another limitation. Let's say if I had a wrong device which is not live or might be having a authentication issues. Now, what happens in such kind of script is as soon as they reach to device 2, if the device is not working, the script will halt. The script will fail immediately without going to the third, fourth, and till the end of device, which is again not good in the production. Because then each and every time might be you have to remove them and run it for the device which is passing SSH, and if the device is reachable over ping and ping over on the network, right? So we can avoid that with some exceptional scenarios. That's why I have added some exceptional scenarios. if my device is failing due to credential issue, or if the IPs are non-SSH or not live scenario, then also the script should keep moving. So to do that, I kept few devices. Let's say I'll update the devices here. Let's say it's 59 dot 59. Let's say these are some IPs which may not be live as of now. So I'll just do some random changes. Okay, and I'll just save this. So this is the Excel which I got it during the maintenance window. This is the script which I have developed to go through that Excel, read the content of that Excel and store it under the variables. And then we go one after one. And if the device is good, it will successfully log in and push the command. If the device is not not live, or if the device is having authentication issue, it will generate us some text file. Okay, in certain folder. Let me delete if there is something here. So in this folder, I will be getting a compiled report, the device failing due to SSH and the device failing due to timed out. And then I can attach those files into my ticketing tool and close the ticket, saying that I've done this successfully. These are the devices which are successfully configured. These are the devices which got failed due to SSH issue. These are the devices which are non-reachable or they are dead devices. So that is a compiled report. So to execute this, once again, right click and run them. Okay, so it says that enter the password. Let's give the password. Let's say Cisco. It says it's connected to the device. It has done the changes. Now it has gone to 71. This device is not present at all, so I can just say that even if I put a wrong credential, if the device is not present, we should be getting inside SSH field traps. It is giving a wrong, see, failing due to timeout, failing due to timeout. See, there's a report generated. It will say that 71 is failed due to the timeout issue, right? So this way, you can make a report, which you can fetch a report which is having all the timeout issue, or you can also have a report which will have SSH issue. Let me show you a report generated for SSH issue. Let's say my first device was good, but I put a wrong attempts. So first attempt is wrong, second is wrong, third is wrong, fourth is wrong, and I got into the authentication problem, and then it went to 71, right? There would be a separate text file. So if you open it up, you can see that the device got failed due to the authentication issue. So this is because of authentication issue, and if the device is failing due to the timeout issue, we will get .71 captured here. Similar way, whichever device you would have successfully cleared, those you can add it within the working scenario. So whatever the lines that you have created, line 52, 53, 54, if you put these 3 lines within the successful block, then you will also get another file for all the SSH working devices. So that will make your things easier when you execute and you have to attach the logs to the ticketing tools. If you have all the data, you can easily get it going, right? So any doubt, anything with the example too, any issues that you're able to understand at what point this is being utilized?
Yes. What will be a like what is your strategy on which package you use? Like which one will work for which scenario? How do we get that understanding? like Netmiko, you're saying, right? So, some of them.
Yeah, but what scenario? In the sense what?
No, not some scenario. Like, how do you decide? Like, okay, Netmiko will be my, package, which will have all the required things which I need. Like, is it we have to Google and do, or like, is there any documentation or something, or how do we choose the packages?
See, to choose the package, first thing you need to decide is whether it is supporting your vendor or not. Okay, if your vendor is supported, then probably any module, if you take, they will do the same job. Copying of the file, taking the backup, config push. All these things are very common things which is developed in all the module like Netmiko, NEPAM, Nornier, PyNTC. But are they supporting your vendor? That's the question number one. So if let's say you are coming up with Huawei or Nokia device or some corner device, then other libraries cannot support them, like PyNTC or Nornier or NEPAM cannot support them. So you're only left with Netmiko because Netmiko will support at least 30 to 40 different vendors. So that is your question number one. Second is whether you are taking up backup or if you are running some show commands or you're taking the backup or config push, which is done by most of them. Even Paramiko can do it, those basic things. Netmiko still has more capabilities. It can have the exceptional scenarios. It has a SCP file transfer and it has a something concept for redispatch in case if you need to log into the VDI and then have to initiate from VDI to the devices. Then you can also have redispatch, which other modules will not have it. So there are many things that you can have it in the Netmiko, which is missing up in some of them. But again, you can add 2, 3 other libraries on any main library and still get it going. So that's not a major concern. All right, so that was example 2. Now let me show you example 3. So in the example 3, the logic that I have built is multi-failed device attempt. Because if you know, these scripts comes with one attempt. If you put a wrong password or wrong username, it is the end of the script. And it will either get stopped or it will go to the next device if in case you are making use of exception. So that is not a good scenario because you yourself know that when you're taking up, let's say, SSH to any device, Cisco themselves will give you at least a 3 to 4 attempts for you to still log in. See, there were like 2, 3, 4 attempts. And then finally it might say that no, this is not going to happen, etc., etc. See, but there were 3 to 4 attempts. So how do you convert this manual into a logic and make it automated process? So that is what is the example 3. So in the example 3, we have come up with the while loop finite iterations where I have kept 4 attempts. So in this 4 attempts, if my device has been provided with the right config, it will go and do the needful and then it will move to the next device. If I don't do it properly, if my all 4 attempts are bad, then it will give me a message that you have wasted all the 4 attempts and I'm moving to .27 and so on with the next set of devices. So that is the logic which we are planned and we build it on a script. So how does it look like? Let me show you that. So let's say if my first device is 59, let me put a wrong attempt. So my first attempt is wrong. Now, what happens in a normal script? It will either fail at this minute or it will go to the next device IP. But in right now, in the example 3, it is still on the same device and it is giving me the prompt to enter. Let's say my second attempt is also wrong. See, it got me the third attempt. Let's say that is also wrong. And I'll put my final attempt a good password, a right password. And now I'll put the right password. So let's say Cisco. Cisco is the right username and password. So when I put the right one, what would happen? It will log into the device. So do you see this message? Login is successful. And then it went to 27. So 27 was my next device. And this logic proceed once again. I'll also show you one more thing. In the case if my first attempt itself was good or my second attempt was good. See, first one is wrong, some keyboard issue or I entered a wrong password. Now my attempt is good. I don't want to get myself in a trap of unnecessary second attempt, third attempt, even if I have put the right credential, right? So I'm going to break that logic at certain field. So as soon as the right password is done, you will get the message and you see you're instantly out of that first device and you're to the second device. Right? So this is called logic. On what basis you're creating the logic? You said that if you get the prompt from the device, either angular bracket or the hash, angular bracket resembles enable mode, and this is a user privilege mode. So if you get any of them, that means you're good and you should break it. You should not unnecessarily go with the third and fourth attempt because you're part of it. You should break it, then go with the second device, see at what point users are successfully getting logged in, then go to next and then so on. So this is a logic building. You do such logic building by having the ideas of how it works manually. How does it behaves? So if I would have like let's say 7 to 8 attempts, then I can also increase those over here. I can say that I want to keep it 8 attempts. So this is example 3. Any question, any concern, or anything that you could not understand? You're good with this? What this logic is about?
Yes, Ani.
Okay. All right. Then we'll move to the example 4. Example 4 is to create a report. Now, let's say your management is asking you, hey, go and create a report for me to see what are the current versions of iOS, what is the uptime, what is the serial ID, what is the RAM or resource, or what is the free disk space on the device. So how would you create it? Let's say you don't have any expensive tools with you and you have, let's say, 200 to 500 device. The only option left would be manual way. You will log into each device, you will start copying it and bringing it to the Excel, and it will take might be 1 month for that. And how accurate is that? Because your bandwidth like RAM, CPU keeps flickering. It can be today 70%, might be tomorrow it's 40%. So how accurate is your data at the end of 1 month? It's not accurate. You need a report which is on a live and which you shared it instantly with someone and they know that this report is something which is very, very updated. It's just like 10, 15, 30 minutes or 1 hour recent update, right? So this is an example where we are making use of regex, regular expression. And using the regular expression, you are creating a report to bring this, to bring a report with all the asked concept. So I'll just go via overview. So these are the regular expressions. It's a pattern matchmaker, which I've put up here. This pattern would be checked on the output of show version and show interface of this device. Everything is live. We are not taking or just pulling this report from some data stored 6 months back or 1 year back. This will do a current SSH, pull the output for this, do the regular expression on them, and give you the report in a CSV format. So you will have a report here. backup projects. Let's go to that folder first. See, right now it's empty folder. Now let me run this. Let's fetch a report instantly. See, CSV is generated. I got a report. I'll open it. And this is the report, which is ready to email my management. So what does this report has? So it has the host name, IP address, its subnet mask. The current version is 15.5.3.m. The uptime is 1 hour 58 minutes, and this is the serial ID. Now, if this was my regular class, I would have asked you to give me the utilized RAM and utilized CPU, and give me the percentage or give me the bandwidth utilized in percentage as a assignment or as a project, because I have already told you during 2 to 3 months of the course, I would be giving you project. So the projects are basically where you will start writing. Okay, the main expectation from the batch is that you start writing your own script based on what we discussed and based on what homework I would assign. So I'll show you preparing of one example script or one example document. Later, I'll give you an assignment to add few more features and give me a report with so and so things. So that will make you or encourage you to write and come up with your own logic and something where you can write things on your own. So any question with this example? Did you get the understanding of this? Did you get the logic behind this? What is this report about?
Yes.
Okay, what about others?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So we are good to go with the next example, correct? I'll show you might be one more example. Let's say example 5. So under the example 5, one second. So this is not needed. I'll go with, let's say, example of Panda library. Now, whatever I showed you, they might be from config push, creation, reading from Excel, regex, and so on, which itself is something in a very good context. Now, I'll also show you something. Let's say someone is asking you to create to fetch a report for only the down interface, and also give you the output in a tabular format, and also plot the graph. They're asking you basically give me the visualization of what is, because see, not all management people are technical. If you give them this kind of report, what would they understand? If the interface is up or down, or if the interface is serving the traffic or not serving the traffic, what do they have to do it? If you give them in some nice visualization, a sort of pie chart or a sort of a graph, at least they can understand what it is about, right? Because your customer or client on the day of the technical presentation, if you take this report and show them, some might understand. If in the call they have a network team, might be they can understand. But how would you make your presentation more simpler? That would be when you have a visualization graph or something. So from that point of view, I have worked on this particular script. This is using Panda library, which will give me the data in a structured data format. And I would be using that data to the Matplotlib to get me the visualization in the graphical format. It's a very nice script. I'll give you the outcome of this. So right now I have kept one device 59. I'm taking the SSH of that. I'm running the command show IP int brief, which I'm giving it to the Panda library, where the data from the unstructured to structured will happen and will get into this tabular headers. So these are my columns. Okay, it's called tabular format. You know what is the meaning of tabular, right? See, something given to you in this format is a string. That means it is not a tabular format. Tabular, basically, you call it to this kind of data, which comes in the Excel format. Not exactly Excel is what you need, but in some sort of a tabular format, something like this. You will have its own header, like let's say interface, IP, status, method. So this is a tabular content. You can filter it out. Let's say I want to fetch all the interface which are showing me down. So it will fetch me only the interface which are down and down. So tabular content is needed when you need to apply some more filterings. So in this case, I am converting all my output of show IP int brief, which something looks like, if you check it on the device, it would look something like this. By default, when you fetch it using send command and print statement, it's a unstructured data. You cannot apply any filtering to this. So I will convert this into a tabular content with the help of Panda library. So I'm supplying my data and I'm associating them with these headers. And then I say that I am only interested on the interface which is up. That is again your logic. If you want only down, you can mention only the down interface needs to be mentioned. And then if you want, you can take it in a Excel file or CSV file and then tell them that over on this 100 switches or 100 router, each device from the each device perspective, these are the interfaces which are down, these are the interfaces which are up, or these are the devices which are on the error disabled, because sometimes that is also the ask. We want to see how many devices are on the error disabled state, correct? So how would you do that? So this is one of the example for that. And finally, I'm supplying whatever result I got to the MATLAB, and I'm generating a nice visualization. During my presentation, I would like to show that to my customer so that he is happy. I get my promotion, I get my height, I create that dependency of my automation skill set, right? Now let's run this. So let's say this is example for Panda library. I'll run this. I got the data in a tabular format and I got the visualization. So I can easily tell my customer during the presentation. See, he may not understand this. He's not a network guy, right? So how do I explain him what is what? But if I tell him, see, your seven interfaces are up and there are some three which are admin down. So we can do this and this proposal. Or in case if the ask was to fetch the bandwidth utilization or RAM utilization or CPU utilization, then also this will give you an instant graph. And from the output, you can see it's all the collection of up. If you just change it from up to down, that means you are only focused on the interfaces which is down at the moment from all the devices. It will only fetch those interfaces. Let's say you have this is the report for you. Okay. So
Sagar,
this,
Sagar, is that report is popping up after executing this script, is it?
yes, exactly. So this is all happening at the initial line itself. So I have put 59 IP, which is this device. So if you check on 59, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 interfaces I have showing as up. So if you run the script here, wait 1 second. You will see all the 7 devices, see 7 interfaces which are being up. This is the header that you decided in the script. Okay, so
How
that is
can how can we set up to send an email to our,
you can do
uh,
everything. You can send this via email. You can even put it on a SCP or FTP. Everything it needs you to include those lines and libraries. So there are a lot of libraries which you can use for email sending. One is called SMTP Live. So basically, if we use this SMTP Live library on the existing one, and email will get shooted up. Okay, you have this. You have the IMAP Python library, which is a mail transfer protocol.
Sorry to interrupt you here. When you say library, what does it mean? Like there are pre-configured script and we just need to modify them as per our need, or we have to write from start to end?
So you are the one who said you understood all, and you are asking the question, what is
I'm just
that?
asking about the library actually.
See,
Library.
when you go to your mobile Play Store or App Store, what do you see inside them? You see a lot of applications there, right? So if I search for music, what do I get? I get, like, let's say 10 or 20 recommendation. Make use of MX Music Player, make use of VLC Music Player, make use of that music player. But then what we do, we see if it is free, we see the reviews, we see if it is a known thing which is there from last 5-10 years, and then we download and we utilize them. So libraries are also something similar. These are written by different developers. We need to see what I need from the script. If my need is SSH, so I will search for SSH Python library. I'll get the recommendation like Netmiko, Nornier, PyCharm, PyNTC, etc., etc. So libraries are basically the packages that we install first, and then we start using them to bring some functional effect or to connect with the devices. So, or to fetch something. So basically, these are the libraries which are going to help us to achieve that. So in this case, Netmiko is helping me for SSH. Panda library is helping me to convert unstructured data to structured data at the time of output. And Matlab is the library which is helping me to get the visualization. So as per my task, as per my requirement, I can go with the different libraries.
So is there a list of libraries which are required for only for network part to automate things, or do you know such things?
When you go to Python interpreter and when you click on plus symbol, you can find all the libraries that is being available in the Python marketplace. So these are all open source. That means they are free to use and free to download. But which one to use when is something that comes when you have an experience dealing with it. On the first day, it will be not very easy for you to get the list of it. Definitely, you can do Google, and there could be a lot of answers available on the community page or on the Stack Overflow. But again, that will come only once you start working on it, once you start having a bit experience with the automation scenario, then you will get to know what. Otherwise, if you search for SSH, you will get all the library based on SSH keyword. But you wanted Netmiko. But how do you know Netmiko is good? That is when you attend this batch, you will get more and more exposure of what we are going to discuss and what are the different libraries that are best to do. That is when you get some ideas, and then from there onwards, you can take up for your future requirements, etc.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
How about
It's
the
like
Python interpreter?
it's like ocean. Okay, there is nothing like this is a fixed or standard procedure. The same thing can be done with the different ways as well. There are so many libraries available. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this Python interpreter also the same, like, you choose which interpreter or this what you are using.
there are a lot of interpreters, but most of time you will use either Microsoft Visual Studio or PyCharm. Okay, if it is there, doesn't mean that we have to try out everything. But whatever you prefer or whatever is most of organization allow you to use, only those you can use it. So if it is Microsoft Visual Studio, then only that you can use. Or if it is PyCharm, then PyCharm. You can actually automate even on the Python idle. You can do it on a Notepad++, Sublime, Atom, Eclipse. There are hundreds of such recommendations, but I have hardly seen one or two who would be out of these major popular ones. Because this can do almost everything what we expect. So we don't go with trial and error with some third party. These are not official things or something. These are all third party only. This comes from JetBrains. Okay, this is from the JetBrain groups, and Microsoft Visual Studio comes from the Microsoft itself, and so on. Each has their own developers.
So one more question.
Yeah.
If I have a task been assigned to let's say 10 devices and I need to do a code upgrade on them. So for
Hmm.
code upgrade, instead of writing a new script, I can download the related libraries and can modify them as per my need.
That will be very difficult. You definitely have to leverage on a library which is available. Could be anything like Paramiko, Netmiko, Nornier, because you are not going to develop a library. First thing. Second thing is you will hardly find a production script which is exactly that you are expecting for iOS upgrade. So you should have some skill set to change few things on an existing downloaded script or something. You might be doing indentation problem, you might be missing out some logic, might be your iOS platform has a different prompt or a different keywords which is different in the downloaded. So you should know where exactly you are going to make the changes. Okay, so you don't have to develop the package. The packages are already existing. You just have to download. But rest of the lines that you are writing, it should be coming out of you from your own skill set. Like how do you put them all together?
So from start to end, I have to write on my own, or what is the down package in that case?
Yes, you have to write it on your own because these are all functions part of NetMiko. So you should know how to bring them in one piece.
Okay, most probably future example, it will be clear to me.
See, you will be having this information. So from this, how can you build all this? That is up to your skill set or your experience with dealing to write a script. That is what I said when we are discussing about this project. The main intention is that the participants start writing their own scripts rather than seeing me writing all the script in the live class. Though I'll be doing all the script writing in the class as well. So these are all something I will be discussing in the class. But I will also make sure that I give you some project where you can build your own some scripts or own from your own thinking.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I'll take you to another example. We discussed first 5 examples, which were based more on manual way. Now, let's say you are a team lead or you are a project manager for automation department. You have couple of interns who do not know even ABC of whatever is being done here. They don't know how to change this. They don't know how to do any changes on this. So you come up with an idea of giving them a dashboard. You can do you can actually convert the script into a dashboard format because this Python programming language is called as a backend programming language. When we talk about front end, then front end are these HTML dashboard or Flask or any of the front end application is where you will have a graphical dashboard. Using that, navigations using all the drop and down. When you click on submit button, it will go to the backend Python script that will get executed, that will do a SSH or HTTP and fetch the report, and it should be visible in the dashboard, right? So it will be very easy for even interns to execute the script. So that is why this example is from the dashboard building. This is basically a programming tool called ThinkTup. It's a very entry level dashboard. It's not a standard browser. It will have its own interface. I'll just show you. Let's say if I'm executing this. So when I execute this, I get a dashboard. See, this is kind of a dashboard. Now it has its own limitation. We cannot do a very good browser-based responsive feature on this. You can see that it's not zoom in, zoom out as per what I drag. Also, if I deal with lot of device, there is chances this application can have a buffer memory problem. Okay, there can be the problem with this. But anyway, I'll just show you the example. If it was a small scale company and you have prepared this, now you can put the IP address of your device. You can provide the username and password, and you can put down your command show IP int brief, and let's say show run pipe include hostname. Or if they are very fresher, they can also select from the drop down. So these all options you have coded up in your script, the backend script. Now this is the front end of it. Now no more going to that backend and do a manual run. You can basically run this from the dashboard itself. So for example, if I minimize this browsers, see now all the things are minimized. Now this is the dashboard which the interns will be having access, and he has to quickly take the output of show IP int brief and the device, and he will click on connect. In the backend, you have done your code writing, and it is fetching you the output. See, this is the output. Similar way, let's say there are some BGP down, or there are some routing protocols flap, and he wants to quickly check. So he can run this command and he can click on connect. So if those are configured, see for example, this is a routing table, and this is, let's say, BGP not active. Let's say if he do not know about any show command, then he can select from this as well. So let's say he want to check the interface status, and done. He got it. He can save it. He can send it to the next L2, L3 team that this is what I fetched. I did the primary troubleshooting. I did the ping, trace route, and show interface. I am not able to find the root cause. This is the observation. Can you please take it from here? Right. So this is where we do it normally in the service-based company where we have a NOC team. So basically, NOC team would be advised to take the show IP in brief or show BGP neighbor, show clock, and do ping or do trace route to the ISP or to 8.8.8 and give me the logs so that I don't have to waste my time. And I can start directly from logging to device and check the BGP and check the reset and etc. etc. So this type of dashboard can help in that situation. And also, if in case you manually log into a lot of device, you can also easily get into this. But as I told, this can have its own limitation that they are not a standard browser. They're basically small application. So for this, I am also going to show you the next example, which is to do the same job, but now we are not going with the ThinkTup. Instead, we will go with a professional front-end programming that is called Flask. Now I'm going to integrate Flask and Netmiko to give me a dashboard on a browser which is having a good buffer memory, which are mobile responsive. If I'm accessing it from a mobile, iPad, or even laptop or a bigger screen, the fonts don't get degraded. So how do I run this now? So if I run this, 1 second, let me run first the Flask example. Now the Flask as a local host and it got powered on. This is the URL. If I click on that, now this is a web-based. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll just complete this. So you can see that this is a web-based kind of thing. I can have a mobile responsive thing. These are HTML, these are having CSS. You are familiar with HTML, CSS, you can put your own company name, company logo, and you can do a lot of changes on this particular dashboard. And you can see from the options, if you had multiple devices, say for example, if I'll show you, let's say if I had a few more devices, this is where I keep my device list. Okay. Let me show it one more time by executing this. Refresh this. See, your devices would come like this. Now, let's say you select the device and you type your command that you're looking for to execute them. You have the output. Now, let's say you wanted to download and attach it to the ticketing tool. So it's there in the notepad. So it was very quick. Let's say if you wanted to take the show run instantly for this device. So you got the show run output. You click on download. The output is collected. This is the show run in a notepad. Now you can attach, you can take it as a logs or whatever you want, you can do it with this. Okay, so this is what some examples I wanted to cover up. I'll once again show you the module. So we will be starting with Python theory because most of the time the participants do not know theory. So this will be like 10 to 10 hours minimum, where we will talk about setting up the environment, PyCharm, setting up Python, and we will talk about all the theory concepts like variables, list, string, tuples, for loop, while loop, iterations, exceptional scenarios, read, write Excel, read, write Notepad. All the theory will be covered first. Then we will go with the network automation practicals from Python library point of view. We will start with NetMiko. These are some test cases I will be writing in the classes. These are the continuation. Then again a continuation of it. Then we go with NEPAM library. We go with PyNTC. We go with Paramito, Scapy, Subprocess, and Nordnet. These are different libraries. Most of the libraries are used in the production. Once the Python is done, after, let's say it will take me 10, 15, 20 hours, or let's say 25 hours, just alone to complete Python syllabus. Then we go to the Ansible. Under Ansible, I'm covering basic to advanced. So all the things related to Ansible, say for example, to build a custom modules inside Ansible, to write a playbook from scratch, ad hocs, tags, Ansible AWX, Ansible, what else? Ansible Jinja templating, right? All the advanced things, Ansible loop, Ansible conditions, all the things that basically you will see in Ansible, Ansible handlers, Ansible deployment, everything is would be covered. So it's a basic to advanced Ansible. Unlike some people just show you how to write a simple playbook and execute it, but here we are going in depth, basically from what the companies like Juniper and Cisco or any other top MNC use Ansible. So from that point, we will be taking up. And then we will go with the REST API Postman. This is where we will be talking about the latest technologies like SDN technology, SD-WAN, API, the Epic controller, or it could be Nexus dashboard or Palo Alto dashboard, F5 dashboard. So those dashboards can be automated using APIs as well. So we will be making use of application called Postman. So this is another separate module, and also a topic that will be seen in Cisco DevNet Associate, Professional, and Expert level. So most of these topics are from the blueprint itself. And finally, we will go to Cisco DevNet Associate level. These are the official blueprint. We will cover the topics from here. And parallelly, during this 3 to 4 months of training, when I, let's say, covered up 10 hours of syllabus, I would be giving you one project so that you can think on writing the script and you can submit it. I can validate and I can tell you what is wrong and what is good or what could be the alternative method. So that is how these projects are decided. So these are few things that is the part of the syllabus. And rest of the things like pricing and the discount and the labs and all those things, my salesperson will be talking about it. So if you have any technical question, you can let me know. Otherwise, I will pass this to the next team who is going to represent as a sales team from Network Journey. He will discuss about the pricing and all the things about the course. All right. So do you have anyone has any technical question? You can let me know. Otherwise, I'll be passing it to the next person. So any question?
No, sir.
All right, fine. So Sajid, are you in the call? Can you please take over?
Yeah. Hello everyone. Sajid this side, your student relationship manager. So can you hear me and can you guys see my screen?
Sorry, Sajid. Can you introduce yourself again?
Myself Sajid. I'm from Network Journey. So I'm the student relationship manager.
Okay. And who will be completing this course? I mean, throughout the course, who will be the tutor? Is it Sagar or you both?
No, throughout the tutor will be the Mr. Sagar the one. So I'll be the student relationship manager and student counselor.
Right.
Okay, basically I'm here to give you details regarding course and all the enrollment details, what all will be the materials, accesses we are going to provide you guys with the offering pricing and all these things. I'm giving you details here itself. Okay, so basically let's start with the course syllabus and class schedules. So here in this Python network automation course, totally we are going to cover from basic to expert level on the networking perspective, like for the automation purpose. Like here we are going to cover Python, Ansible, API, PyArts, then DevNet, then SD-WAN automation, then firewall automation on Palo Alto, FortiGate, and on FILTM load balancer, and many more are there. So basically, our trainer will be going to take from basic to expert level. So he is starting from the very basic to understand all the things clearly and to get it the technologies in details to the students who are going to enroll. Okay, so like according to it, this will be the things points which we are going to cover in our upcoming batch. Okay, the class schedules will be like this will be going to be a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday, from morning 8:30 a.m. IST to around 10:30 a.m. IST. Okay, and the course duration will be for 3 months, you can say, and in 3 months it will be get covered. So in some case it may if trainer is extension like some of the topics is it going to take in that time, the classes will be extended little bit more. Okay, so this will be the course syllabus and class schedules. the classes will be on Saturday, Sunday, 2 days, only on weekends, and the timings will be 8:30 a.m. IST to 10:30 a.m. IST, 2 hours of session on every class on Saturday and Sunday till the 3 to 3.5 months. Okay, and then next we will move forward to our course enrollment access details. The access what we are going to provide is like if you are going to enroll for this course, so we'll be providing you the remote lab access. We'll be providing you the web portal access that will remains with you for lifetime. There you will be getting actual live class recorded version. Means what you will be attending the live class, that recordings you are getting on the portal. Okay, so that in future if you want to go through the videos, if you want to practice something, you can go through that, and that will remains with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access it. And secondly, we'll be providing you the 24/7 unlimited remote lab access for 6 months for this Python network automation course. Okay, you'll be having 24/7 6 months remote lab access to our labs, which are present on our servers and cloud servers. Okay, and that is accessible totally 6 months for the Python network automation course. Okay, and like we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, and step-by-step lab manuals, and all the materials we will provide you that you can download, you can keep it with you as well, and that will also remains with you for lifetime access through G Drive and all, so you can access it. And we'll be providing you the uh, we'll be providing you the home lab setup as well. Like if you have the good configuration of your system, then we will help you to set up a home lab, so that once you are done with your remote lab access, further you can practice on your personal laptop. Okay, so like in case, let's say if you have the minimum configuration of 16 GB RAM of your system, and minimum requirement for core is 4 core CPU for setup on the lab. So accordingly, you need to just raise a ticket on our support DL. Like one of our team member will connect with you, and he will do the setup. Okay, and that will also remains with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access it. Okay, and we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our network journey team. Like if you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the portal, or regarding to the labs, anything it may be, you just like while you are practicing the lab, if you stuck somewhere, in that case you are not able to move forward, any thing you are getting or facing any challenges, in that case you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and we will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay, and let's say like yeah, our team will reach you out, and we will resolve your issues accordingly, and we will revert you back with confirmation.